Black voters were a prime target of disinformation campaigns back in 2016, and experts say they are being targeted again in 2020. This time, the goal is depressing black voter turnout. NBCNews.com technology investigations reporter April Glaser wrote that story. She joins me now. April, this is more than just deceiving voters with information. How is voter depression different, and how is it specifically targeting black communities?
Right. So unlike, misinformation where they might give you, wrong information about the validity of mail-in ballots online or memes pretending, or rather accounts pretending to be people that they're not, or activist groups that they're not, like we saw in 2016 with Russian disinformation. What we're seeing now with voter depression, the goal is more to make people who would otherwise feel that, who would otherwise vote, feel that there's really no reason to do so, right? And so what we're seeing is influencers on Instagram Live, memes circulating in closed Facebook groups, kind of stoking the question, the whole system is broken. Anyone who is a candidate up for election isn't going to fix it, so why vote? And we're actually seeing that spread really far and wide, and a lot of stuff go viral to that effect, really aimed at Black communities in particular around the idea of, voting for president isn't going to change the fact that, police violence happens to be racist, right? Or that there's this history of racist police violence. So that's the type of stuff that we're seeing right now.
Tell us more about what's going on online to depress Black voter turnout.
Sure. So, we're seeing a lot of people on Instagram Live, particularly people who have developed audiences over long periods of time, speak direct to cameras, direct to their audiences, direct to people who trust them, asking questions about, if voting is really going to change anything. And they're saying, no, it's not. So why would you vote? Why would you even bother now? And a lot of it has to do with the fact that for many people who are very progressive or consider themselves even to the left of candidate Biden and vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris, that they are not proposing policy changes that are going to fix a lot of the systemic problems, for instance, of racist police violence happening in the country. And, why even vote for them? And so we're actually seeing this pop up as more of a problem for the Biden campaign, and a lot more voter depression happening on that side of the ticket rather than for the Republican side. When it comes to that, it's because there's kind of this enthusiasm gap. And so when people, feel like they're just not that excited about any of their options, it's really easy for a bad actor to come in and for perhaps some viral strain that they're seeing over and over again on their social media feeds about, like, why would you even vote, really kind of take hold.
April, earlier this month, Twitter banned accounts that were pretending to be Black Trump supporters. What were they saying, and why did Twitter specifically ban them?
Right. We saw a series of accounts pop up that Twitter blocked. They were actually using avatars from stock images, pretending to be Black people. They were also using images from the news of, say, like a Black police officer. We also saw a deceased veteran's image of a Black man being used to kind of use Black identity to create these avatars, these characters saying, we're voting for Trump. We are voting Republican. And it gives the illusion, perhaps, that there's more of a grassroots base, Black conservative base, bigger than there actually is. Now, of course, there is a Black conservative base, but we're seeing these disinformation efforts pop up that perhaps make white voters feel that, there is less of a racist connotation or less like association with racism with voting for Trump than they might feel otherwise if they didn't see as many Black avatars saying that they're voting for Trump. But Twitter did block those accounts. But we saw this back in 2016 as well. The kind of the use of Black identity to kind of stoke unrest in American politics leading up to the election.
So, April, we're hearing some Black advocacy groups are trying to fight this. What specifically are they doing to try to, fight back and cut back on this?
Yes, Color of Change is a group that's really leading the charge here. They are a group that has been critical of the tech platforms for a very long time, particularly Facebook, and how disinformation and hate has run rampant on that platform for so many years, and the platform has been unable to actually eradicate that, and it's still such a big problem. But what they've been doing is actually some of the same tactics that the people who are trying to stoke voter depression and apathy and kind of convince people that perhaps it's not worth going out to the polls, in the same way that the people who are stoking that sentiment are coming from kind of folks that people maybe trust online, are already familiar with, and have been following for a long time. It's a grassroots effort from Color of Change. So across the country, they have a network of members who are doing kind of get out the vote work in their community, but also not just talking about the importance of voting for the president, but really focusing on a lot of these district attorney races where, these prosecutors are actually up for election and can have a significant impact on the criminal justice system locally. And so really, really localizing concern and bringing the reason why we vote kind of back home.
April Glaser, great to have you on News Now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.